All right, everyone, we're live today for Epic Thursday with a special guest who is a visitor from whether you can call it Latin America, Europe, or now the Middle East. We've got Loreana Acosta in the house. She's originally from Costa Rica, now lives between Montenegro and Dubai, and she is the guru for fitness business owners. And we'll get into that in a second. But again, for anyone who's not watched Epic Thursdays before, this is our weekly show that we do here on Facebook, where we kind of capture the insights from movers and shakers in the world of health, wellness, and fitness and longevity who can teach us some of those ideas, some protocols, some habits that can enable you as entrepreneurs or business owners to get into your peak performance, your optimal performance without sweating too much about it. No pun intended. Before I can get Lo on the show, because that's how she prefers to be called. It's the easiest name, as she just reminded me of. We would just kind of be not giving her the credit before I describe her background. So she left Costa Rica a few years ago after 7 years of corporate experience to follow her dream in this region in the Middle East of coaching people to incorporate fitness as part of their lifestyles and get stronger in that process. She also just allowed us to grow as an athlete, competing at the elite level in powerlifting while creating and evolving fitness projects in the region. And now in this journey that she has come across, she's developed in her mind the perfect formula to integrate fitness and business elements to start a facility from scratch. So if you're actually a business owner when it comes to running gyms, fitness facilities, wellness centers, you should be watching this, because not only are we going to be getting insights on getting more healthier and fitter with the right mindset, but also if you'd like to run a business, then you've got someone who's kind of coming from the inside out. So with that, and without no further ado on that, Loreana and Lo, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right. So for all those who are here, say hi to Loreana. At least kind of share the love with us, so she knows that you appreciate the time she's spending with us. But as we get started, Lo, tell me, as you've been coaching customers, as you've been working with athletes, you've been working with business owners, there's this issue that I guess you mentioned earlier that there's never a perfect time to
Correct.
find the right balance. And what do you mean there's never a perfect time? I mean, obviously there is time, right? But what do you mean by that? And when you kind of then unpack that and figure the idea of balance, how does it progress in your thinking, in your sort of system?
Correct. What normally happens with all of us as in individuals, regardless we are business owners or not, is we are on this daily traction, right? We are on the train every day doing stuff. So basically, we are into these activities, and we said, I don't think this is the right time for me to get healthy. This is not the right time to take care of me because this other thing is more important. Or now I'm opening a gym. No, I don't have time to train. I don't have time to think of me. Or you are already running a business and you just said, I have too much on my plate, so I cannot take care of myself. Or there is people who said, well, I have a learning curve. There is a lot of things that I need to figure out. So when I figure out this, then I have to implement, then I have to test if it worked, if it didn't work, and then I never have time for myself. So most of us, we always neglect ourselves, either to take care of others or to take care of our business. So this is very common.
So how do you get people to first appreciate the fact that they need to slow themselves down versus always chasing something? Because obviously this idea of not finding the right time is you feel you're short on time because you're running after this and then you're after that and you're juggling all these different balls in the air. In your mind, what's the first thing someone should be doing to get centered and get that sense of awareness that, look, this is not the best state to be in if I have to deliver on high performance? I mean, where do you get them started? When you start working with customers, with entrepreneurs, with business owners, what's the first thing you tell them?
Well, first of all, they need to leverage. As most of the gym owners or most of the people, they are very afraid to give tasks to other people. Because the first thing is, no, they are not going to do it as good as myself. So they keep it to themselves, and then they are on a pile of things that then they just doesn't make sense. And they are just so tired that they cannot deliver anymore. They burn out. So that's the first thing that you need to leverage, first of all. And second of all, have a framework, have a strategy, have a little bit more of clarity. This is how, what we are going to do and how we are going to do it. So first of all is a little bit of understanding where is your existing situation and where you want to go. But then this is very business language, right? Just to understand a little bit about the business. But now let's go to the human side and how you get like in this some sort of form that you said, okay, these are the habits that I should respect to respect myself on daily basis to keep myself fit and healthy. So it's quite funny because the person I will be taking ownership on something, but the one who create like this procedure is actually my partner, and he came up with this strategy now during lockdown. During lockdown, we were very bored, of course, and we said what we're gonna do, and we started a challenge. So he has a very big audience, mainly in the UK, and I have my audience in Costa Rica and also in the UAE. So we joined forces and we said, why don't we do a 6-week challenge where we are going to encourage people to stick to 6 simple habits. So this is what we do. So paying attention. If you have a paper and somewhere where to make notes, do your notes. So the first thing that people neglect is in terms of food is protein. Protein is the most important of the macros for body composition. And it's super common that when you talk to people and you analyze what they are eating for the main meals, breakfast, lunch, or dinner, they are lacking of protein. Like there is no awareness about protein. They make the meals according to what society says that we should be eating, and they neglect protein. In terms, if you are a vegan, there is no protein if you're a vegan, because we know that there is vegetables that are gonna give you that extra amount of protein that is important for your diet. But same, people just keep it outside of their mind. So we always make a joke that we go to the house of the people and we go for lunch or dinner, and there is like a chicken breast that is like shared between the whole family, and we look at each other like, no, that is not enough animal. Like we need more protein, like each of us enough amount of this macronutrient. So that is gonna help you in terms of body composition, and it's gonna keep you fuller. That will be the first advice. The second advice, sleep. And sleep is something that people neglect because they are so busy with too many thoughts that they cannot disconnect. They go to bed, they are still processing things. And what is the simple, easier thing to do? Get the phone, scroll, and they get lost hours and hours until it's 1, 2 in the morning, and then they have to crack on the next day, 5, 6 in the morning. I slept nothing. So there is no way that you can carry on if you don't rest, if you don't recover. So this is one of the rules that we give to people. Try to sleep between 7 to 8 hours every single day. Right, then the next one is also very curious, because here in the region, I mean, we live at the desert. It's very hot and nobody drinks water. So simple as drinking enough water. So yeah, we encourage people, you need from 3 to 3.5 liters of water, and you are gonna ask me how I know how much water I'm drinking. That's why I keep these big bottles with me, is 1.5 liters. So I know if I finish 2 of them per day, at least I'm good to go. I'm doing a good job, right? So this is also going to help you with body composition. It's going to help you to perform better, even for women that they are so into skin. Your skin is going to change. So everything is only benefits for you. So simple. Water. Then we have vegetables. Same. People always use this as an excuse. Oh, I don't like vegetables. it takes too much time to cook, and whatever excuses that you want to give. So we create two strategies to help people to eat more fruits and vegetables. So number one, believe it or not, we use a lot of frozen version because it's very handy, very quick. You keep it in the freezer, you put it out, a little bit of water, go in the microwave, 5 minutes, put it in the plate, and you can add whatever you want on top just to give it a little bit of flavor, and that's it. It takes literally 5 minutes. And the frozen vegetables even have more nutrients than the normal ones that we find at the supermarket. Because they basically, when they get picked, they get packed almost immediately. So they preserve a lot of these nutrients that we need. So this is one of the tips that we give to people. And the second one, we make a joke about the sandwich life. Because it's very simple. You get bread, a lot of chicken, a lot of spinach, put it in the middle, close it. And if you're not much into vegetables, you won't feel it. You won't feel it. It's in between everything. And it's going to help you out to eat more of these nutrients that you need. Again, it's necessary for the body functionality, for you to keep going in this stress life. And I'm giving you also solutions that is not going to take too much of your time, where you're going to say, I don't have time even to eat. So this, again, doesn't take more than 5 minutes. The next one is, of course, training. We need to give this stimulation to our muscles and, well, this movement that we get during a daily basis. Now, if you are into fitness and your background, you were an athlete or you are a coach or a trainer, I know the frustration. I know the frustration when you are starting a new project and you said, I don't have time to move. I don't have time to train. Why? Because in your mindset, for you, training looks very different to the training of the normal population. For you, it's a commitment. Is you go to the gym, you spend there like 1 hour, hour and a half. You push yourself hard. You want to lift heavy. You want to progress, you want to achieve new PRs and stuff like that. But there is like different journeys. And when you're starting a new project, what is important is that you move, that you keep this muscle stimulation, that you go to your gym, to the gym and give a little bit of time to yourself. So if you have to cut these activities from 5 times a week that you used to train back in the day, to at least 3 times a week for yourself to keep going and keep this balance, and also to remove stress, that we know that going to the gym and moving, training and interacting with other people also help you with the stress. Well, let's cut it down to 3 times, but better than nothing. A lot of people will say like, no, this is not training anymore. I'm not perceiving the same results, so they kind of leave it. No. Just try to keep moving. And the last one is the one that people will say, I don't believe that this makes nothing. And for me was a huge difference. Step counting. Step counting, it can be a game changer in your life. Here in the UAE, because of course we drive everywhere. And well, now the weather is better, but we know that during summer, it can be quite difficult to go for these walks. We have either early morning or the evening. However, when you check overall, people here move around 3,000 to 3,500 steps on a good day. And this is definitely not enough. So if we really make a commitment to ourselves to move 10,000 steps per day, that is going to be like a game changer for body composition, for yourself to keep yourself healthy and keep yourself fit. Like, it seems very silly, but just by not adding this extra stress to your body, you can burn around 200 extra calories per day that you accumulate during the whole week. And then there you go. You feel yourself you keep yourself fit and healthy, and not with these extreme cases that people get overweight or start gaining weight because they are engaging into a new project.
Yeah, I think I think that's very nice. The whole idea of having a six sort of, as you said, habits and protocols. It kind of primes your mind and your body to kind of be in that state where it can, perform, even if you don't feel you're always acing it. Like you said, you don't have to be always thinking that you have to be a superstar athlete. I guess my follow-on question is that clearly a big part of people keeping up with these habits is mindset, which is something that you talk about a lot, right? As well, that we can have these habits because look, there are many books, there are many blogs that talk about the 5 hacks, the 6 protocols, the 7 habits, etc. So I think the issue is not with knowledge. The issue is with adopting that knowledge and kind of keeping up with the mindset. So in your mind, or in your sort of experience, what kind of things do you suggest people do to get their mindset in the right place? Because if they can't get their mindset right, anything that you teach them will just kind of fly past them. They'll not be able to process it or at least do anything with that.
Correct. So the honest truth is the biggest obstacle of any individual is ourselves, right? Is ourselves and the movie that we create in our minds. Why? Because we are wired for failure. We're fired for to think the worst that is gonna happen, right? And also people have a lot of fear, especially when you are engaging a new project or even when you have a business, when you are 100% responsible, you have a lot of fear to failure. When you do a comparison and you understand what failure means, you can kind of do a comparison with calories. When we try to explain people what are calories, what calories is a unit to measure energy expenditure. That's it. So what is failure? Is a unit to measure how you don't do things. That's all. So you learn how not to do things in a certain way because it's not gonna give you that result. So this is how you rewire your mindset. The thing is, when you say this word, a lot of people who still don't have that good relationship or don't believe in this is because they think that we are gonna get in certain song of cult, like, oh no, mindset is too fluff, it's too much fluff. I cannot do, I don't know, people said, I don't like meditation because they say, I cannot disconnect. This is not for me. I cannot do journaling. No, this is too much fluff for me. And I'm very honest. I was that person that said, no, I have no time for meditation. This is not gonna help me somehow to achieve my goals. However, if you are constantly going and going, there is a point that you don't have clarity anymore. And also what is also true is that all of us, we know what we have to do. There is too much information in the net now. And all of us, we have access to that information. So you know what you have to do. But the thing is that you, because of this fear, you get stuck and then you don't want to move forward. My advice is all of us, we really need to find what is that thing that helps you to find clarity and to get your focus back to the daily activities that you are doing. So it's not the same for everyone. For a lot of people said, oh yes, I love to do meditation at least 5 minutes a day. That for me is enough to disconnect and get back on track. There is people who love to do the journaling. There is people that will say, okay, I'm gonna do a yoga class, or other people said, okay, I just want to be in my corner in silence, and that works for you. Personally, and that's the reason why I live in Montenegro, and I spend just a little bit of time here. I love my time into nature. So when I feel that I'm focused and when I feel that I don't have clarity enough with the things I'm doing, I go for a walk. So these days that I'm here, I go for a walk to the mall. I'm not lying. I go to the mall. It's okay. because you see people passing and stuff, but you get a little bit distracted of what you're doing, and then you come back and it's okay and good to go. So taking these small walks, these small breaks, like really helped me to be more productive during the day than trying just to go full on during the day and get stuck into my negative thoughts.
Well, I mean, you say something which is kind of very interesting in the work that we do over here as well. That we talk about how do you help people get into states of flow, high performance states, and at the same time enable them to get out of it and then get back into it very quickly again. And what you spoke about, walking in nature or disconnecting, is part of the recovery process, right? Because we can be banging hard, very hard, working extremely intensely, but we feel that we can go from one intense cycle to another one without taking a break in the middle. And that doesn't work because your brain, from a neurochemical perspective, needs to kind of release all those chemicals which were there to help you get primed for performance. Like the dopamine has to kind of tone down. You cannot be staying in high dopamine states all the time, for instance. So I think what you're saying makes absolutely a lot of sense, and it's part of the so-called flow cycle that we look at as part of our coaching as well. So look, 25 minutes have almost flown past as you've spoken about those habits and the mindset, that which I guess happens with people who kind of really are so informed about what they teach. In your final, I guess, maybe comments, I'd love to get your take on, if someone is to get started and these 6 habits sound too much or the mindset sounds too fluffy in their mind, even though I don't think that's the case. But let's say someone's listening and watching this show and saying, okay, fine, how do I get started? What's the first thing I should do tomorrow morning to at least get into this experience and start building the habits? What would you recommend they start tomorrow? Just get them into sort of the momentum that is needed to start moving forward.
Right. I think, well, number one is, are you ready? Ask yourself. Ask yourself how you feel and if you're ready to do different changes, to start something new. And this is like, be honest to yourself, because sometimes we always create movies. We create movies in our head. Oh yes, and tomorrow I'm gonna start running. People say that, or I'm gonna start something new, and then they don't move forward because they are not convinced, and also they don't understand what are they doing. That's that when it's not clear the message is when people cannot fall and achieve something. So ask yourself how you feel and if you are ready to feel better. So these 6 habits, as they are quite tiny, what we recommend people to do is to write it on a paper or even have it in your iPhone in the notes. So you have like from 1 to 6. You take a look when you wake up in the morning and you said, okay, these are 6 things that I'm gonna focus today. And it's pretty simple because it's not that you have to really put too much effort on it, except for the step counting. I know that you have to push. But again, when I'm talking about take these small breaks to disconnect and then come back, these are the small walks that you do. So it's like 2 on 1. You know what I mean? You get your step counting, you disconnect from what you're doing, and now you're back more focused and recharged to keep going. So 2 on 1. I feel that the step counting is the winner for me. Like really is a game changer. And I will recommend people to do practice of it. And a lot of people say, but how I'm gonna walk like so boring. Well, honestly, I just wear my headphones on, I choose a podcast, I choose a book, and just go for my small walks.
Yeah, it's very easy once you make it part of a routine. And the idea of stacking habits, like if you stack a habit that you're always doing, like you go to the mall, you just plug in, it becomes part of your habit, whether it's listening to a podcast, meditating while you're walking as well. That's also possible, right? Open awareness. So you can do all these things. We should not kind of create separate time slots in our life for everything, because sometimes you can stack these habits together, like you've said. Brilliant. Look, so Lo, it's been brilliant speaking with you. Thank you very much. We've shared, I think we'll share the handles on where people can reach you and learn more about you and what you can support them on your Instagram and other handles. But it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in your current stint in Dubai before you head back into European climes again in Montenegro. And thank you again for joining us. For those who've been watching, thanks for tuning in either now or watching it later, and see you guys next week. All the best and timing out. Stay limitless.
Thank you.